as open enrollment season's kicking off across the country. A big deadline is looming: the expiration of enhanced tax credits that help millions afford their health insurance. But with the federal government shutdown for the time being, there is growing concern that families could see those premiums shoot up pretty dramatically next year. We want to dive deeper into this part of the shutdown and the potential implications with Bobby Kogan, Senior Director of Federal Budget Policy for the Center for American Progress. Thanks for being on the show.
Hey, Cheryl, thanks so much for having me on.
All right, let's start with the basics. What exactly happens when these enhanced ACA tax credits expire, and how quickly might families feel the impact?
The answer is immediately. These credits help about 90% of people who are on the open market. And the average premium increase for people for these 90% of people, for these 20+ million Americans, will be $500 to $600 per month. As soon as they're as soon as they're beginning their new insurance in January, they will be feeling it right away. That's going to price many millions of people out of the market. So lots of healthy people will lose coverage, and that pushes up premiums for everyone, because when healthy people leave, then the risk pool is sicker and everyone is worse off because of it.
Sure, budgets are tight, and then you talk about $500 or $600 additional a month. That's really tough for so many families. This issue made headlines this week after Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, of course a conservative member of the GOP, sounded the alarm on the premium hikes, agreeing with the Democrats. Does that open the door to some kind of middle ground on this conversation?
I hope so. One of the fundamental things that the government does is helps people. That's the purpose of government, and helping people afford health insurance so that they can live healthy lives is one of the fundamental things. These premium tax credits are actually more likely to help red states than blue states. I think that there's recognition of that, and everyone understands that if your premiums go up $600 a month, it's going to make it pretty hard to afford. So it's the sort of thing that there ought to be common ground for, but we'll just have to see. So far, the president has been unwilling to negotiate, so hopefully that'll change now.
There's an impact, of course, on families, as you were talking about, but it ripples beyond that, because people will still get sick and still go to hospitals. So if millions drop coverage, could that drive up costs across the entire healthcare system?
Yeah, that's right. That builds upon kind of the lost coverage in the so-called Big Beautiful Bill from a couple months ago. It's a big strain on rural hospitals and on urban and suburban hospitals. They still have to cover you. That's now uncompensated care. That goes to their bottom line and increases closures. We've actually already seen some hospitals closing and citing upcoming uncompensated care. And obviously, it doesn't matter if you can afford health insurance if there's no hospital to go to.
Before we go, how do you respond to critics who say continuing the subsidies adds too much to the federal deficit?
I would say that this is a pretty cheap thing, all things considered. It's pretty easy to pay for if Congress wants to pay for it. Right now, the issue is that there are just a lot of members of Congress who want to see it go away. This is the sort of thing that if Congress came together, they could come up with literally within an hour. It's cheap enough to make it happen.
If Congress does nothing before the tax credits expire, what does 2026 look like for the average American family?
It means a lot of people are going to lose their health insurance, on top of the 10 million people who already are going to be kicked off from the Big Beautiful Bill from a couple months ago. It means a sicker America. It means a bunch of American families who are struggling to pay bills or deciding whether they want to actually go to the hospital or just kind of risk it. And so it means sicker people and more deaths.
All right, well, here we are standing by. We don't expect a vote at least until next Tuesday, so we'll see what happens next. Bobby Kogan, thanks so much for the insight.